Today we are going to tell you the story of Prophet Jacob, peace be upon him. Genesis 25. Jacob, the son of Isaac and Rebekah, came into the world under extraordinary circumstances. His mother, who had long struggled with barrenness, received a promise from God that she would bear twins. Even before their birth, the two boys wrestled within her, a sign of the struggles that would shape their lives. When the time came, the first twin emerged red and hairy, and he was named Esau. His brother followed, grasping Esau's heel, and was named Jacob. Genesis 25. As the boys grew, their personalities and destinies began to unfold. Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open country, while Jacob was a quiet man who preferred staying among the tents. Isaac favored Esau for his game, but Rebekah loved Jacob. One day, when Esau returned famished from the fields, Jacob offered him stew in exchange for his birthright. Driven by hunger and indifference, Esau agreed, trading away his inheritance as the firstborn for a simple meal. Genesis 27. When Isaac grew old and his eyesight faded, he decided it was time to bless Esau, his firstborn. Rebekah, overhearing this, devised a plan for Jacob to receive the blessing instead. She prepared a savory meal and dressed Jacob in Esau's garments, even covering his hands and neck with goat skins to mimic Esau's hairy skin. Jacob approached his blind father, and with hesitation, Isaac blessed him, passing on the covenantal promise of prosperity and leadership that would define future generations. Genesis 27. When Esau discovered the deception, he was furious and vowed to kill Jacob once their father passed away. Fearing for her beloved son, Rebekah urged Jacob to flee to her brother Laban's house in Haran. Isaac, before sending Jacob away, blessed him again, charging him to find a wife not among the Canaanites but from his own kin. Genesis 28. On his journey to Haran, Jacob stopped to rest for the night. Using a stone as a pillow, he dreamed of a ladder reaching from earth to heaven, with angels ascending and descending upon it. At the top stood God, who reaffirmed the covenant made with Abraham and Isaac, promising Jacob land, numerous descendants, and protection wherever he went. Awaking in awe, Jacob named the place Bethel and vowed to serve God faithfully. Genesis 29. Arriving in Haran, Jacob met Rachel, the daughter of Laban, and was immediately captivated by her beauty. He agreed to work 7 years to marry her, but on the wedding night, Laban deceived him, giving him Leah, Rachel's older sister, instead. Jacob confronted Laban, who explained that the older daughter must be married first. Jacob agreed to work another 7 years for Rachel's hand, demonstrating his deep love and commitment. Genesis 30. Life with Laban was not easy. Though Jacob loved Rachel more than Leah, Leah bore him several sons while Rachel remained barren. In the competitive spirit between the sisters, their maidservants also bore children for Jacob. Eventually, God remembered Rachel, and she gave birth to Joseph, a son who would later play a crucial role in Jacob's life. Genesis 30. Jacob's prosperity grew under Laban's household, but tensions arose over wealth and ownership. Using his cleverness and God's blessing, Jacob managed to increase his own flocks significantly. Recognizing the rising resentment among Laban's sons and prompted by God's command, Jacob decided it was time to return home. Genesis 31. Secretly, Jacob fled Haran with his wives, children, and possessions. When Laban pursued and caught up with him, God intervened, warning Laban in a dream not to harm Jacob. After a tense meeting, the two men made a covenant of peace, setting up a heap of stones as a witness to their agreement. Genesis 32. As Jacob neared his homeland, fear gripped him at the thought of meeting Esau. He sent messengers ahead with gifts to appease his brother, but the news that Esau was approaching with 400 men terrified him. Dividing his family and possessions into 2 groups, Jacob prepared for the worst and spent the night alone. Genesis 32. That night, Jacob wrestled with a mysterious man until daybreak. When the man saw that he could not overpower Jacob, he touched his hip socket, wrenching it out of place. Yet Jacob refused to let go without a blessing. The man declared that Jacob's name would no longer be Jacob but Israel because he had struggled with God and with men and had prevailed. Genesis 33. The next morning, Jacob approached Esau, bowing humbly 7 times. To his amazement, Esau ran to meet him and embraced him warmly. The reunion was filled with emotion and forgiveness. Though Jacob offered many gifts, Esau initially refused but eventually accepted them as a gesture of peace. Jacob then continued his journey, settling in the land of Canaan. Genesis 35. Later, God appeared to Jacob again, blessing him and reaffirming that his name would be Israel. Jacob built an altar at Bethel to honor God. Tragedy struck when Rachel died giving birth to their second son, Benjamin. Jacob mourned deeply but continued leading his family as the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. Genesis 37-50. Jacob's later years were marked by his deep love for Joseph, which stirred jealousy among his other sons. This jealousy led to Joseph's betrayal and sale into slavery, a loss that plunged Jacob into grief for many years. Eventually, God orchestrated events so that Joseph rose to power in Egypt. In time, Jacob learned that his beloved son was alive, and he journeyed to Egypt, where he was reunited with Joseph and lived his final days surrounded by all his sons. Genesis 49. Before his death, Jacob gathered his 12 sons and spoke prophetic blessings over each of them, outlining the future of their descendants. His words shaped the destinies of the tribes of Israel. After blessing them, Jacob breathed his last and was gathered to his people, requesting to be buried in the land of Canaan, alongside Abraham and Isaac. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe and join us for more inspiring journeys of the prophets.